Where do we even start with all this mess? Let's start with Robyn, the genius behind the Brown family's destruction. She's out here acting like she didn't have anything to do with the split, when in fact, she orchestrated the whole divide and conquer scheme. Robyn systematically cut Cody off from his other wives, erecting emotional and perhaps even physical barriers between them. All of that designed to build a new family dynamic that revolved around her and her needs alone. But, oh no, in Robyn's version, she's just misunderstood. Right, because that whole bit of dramatic flair playing the part of, I don't know why this is happening and this isn't what I wanted, is so convincing. Not. It's textbook manipulation and we're somehow supposed to buy it? But wait, it gets better. Let's discuss Cody, the would-be king of the Brown Empire. In his own mind, he's the all-powerful one, and the women are there to fawn over him, construct his empire, and massage his ego. Naturally, he can't be blunt about that, so he covers it with fancy speak about emotional needs and spiritual connections. Please. We see right through the act. And just like Cody, Robyn's playing her own version of the same game. She demands loyalty, devotion, and constant validation. But when it comes time to actually be an actual sister wife, to actually work on those relationships, she ghosts. Can't even muster a simple text message. And really, how does Robyn not know what she's doing? She had to know that Cody was practically living full-time at her house, while the other wives and their children were getting crumbs of attention. Yet she continues to play clueless, hoping that if she looks wide-eyed and innocent enough, we'll all keep buying into her fake narrative. Spoiler, we're not buying it anymore, Robyn. And the kicker is this. If Robyn genuinely cared about not appearing to be the villain, wouldn't she have adjusted her behavior by now? Nope. She just doubles down, prolongs it longer and worse. She's even transferring this behavior to her daughters. It's as if an entire new generation schooled in the art of emotional manipulation. Now, by this time, you have to wonder, do they even fight off camera? Or is the entire production one large, well-rehearsed production for the television cameras? I mean, if only one time one of them broke character, let the true facts fly, and totally ruined the illusions Cody and Robyn have created around themselves. That would be the moment we've all been waiting for. And trust me, we're just getting started because what's happening now is even juicier. Let's jump right into it. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel TLCS Sister Wives Secret. It's Aliva here with Ann today. Oh, we're diving deep. Because tell me this, is Cody secretly fuming that everyone's thrilled about Christine's new man, David? I don't see a whole lot of people discussing this, but it's written all over Cody's face. Just think about the anger seething just below the surface every time Cody and Robyn catch the kids actually being friendly with David. Laughing, smiling, behaving as if they actually like him. And worse, being kinder to David than they ever were to Robyn. Ouch. Sincerely, is anybody surprised, though? These kids have more reason in the world to keep Robyn at arm's length. In comes David, being treated with minimal kindness and respect, and then he's the breath of fresh air they didn't even know they needed. For Cody and Robyn, it's a slap in the face they never even anticipated. Remember last season's tell-all when Cody actually thought David was going to come through and roast Christine? He actually thought David was going to be like, yeah, man, Christine's the worst. But Suki was calling it from the get-go. That wasn't going down. And when it doesn't go down, oh, you just know Cody's going to go off into another iconic meltdown. Popcorn. Everyone. It's going to be a show. And the craziest thing, Cody still fully believes he's the hero of this tale. In his head, Christine's the bad guy who tore it all down, and he's the victim, the wronged guy who just got dealt a bad hand. He really does believe David will come around and join him in the end. Spoiler alert, Cody. That's not going down. Not now, never. Can you even picture Cody's face when David doesn't trash Christine? Instead, he just blends in with the kids and actually gets along with them. That moment, I'm dying for it. It's going to be chef's kiss when it all goes down. Now let's discuss the actual difference between Robyn and David. See, David came into the family without trying to push his way in. He didn't show up and attempt to change everything like Robyn did. Number David embraced the family dynamics as they were and didn't feel threatened by it. He's glad to share Christine and doesn't require all of her time or emotions. Conversely, Robyn pushed her way in, creating drama at every turn. She had her children referring to Cody as dad before the two were even married, relocated directly down the street like some sort of mistress, and then complained at once about how the children treated her. And then, naturally, what did Cody do? He defended her, as always, when she complained about how the teenagers weren't friendly enough to her and weren't precisely excited about her pregnancy. For real? We all know exactly why that was happening. Let's not forget how Cody rewarded Robyn's constant complaining. Oh, she received privileges such as a huge wedding reception, an 11-day honeymoon in Hawaii, and all the attention Cody had ceased to provide his other wives. While the children were most likely sitting at home, observing their dad pampering Robyn without receiving anything, discussing infuriating, particularly when Cody was away on a trip when there was a new baby at home. So much for family balance then, right? Now along comes David. Unlike Robyn, David doesn't have unrealistic expectations. He gets that he's not there to fill the kid's dad role. And guess what? That is perfectly okay with him. He treats the kids as people, not accessories in his own drama. Something Cody and Robyn just can't seem to accomplish. If I were betting on it, I'm sure we're going to see this again in the next season. Cody will likely stomp his foot and complain, "Where was this affection for Robyn?" Frankly, maybe that's the reason Robyn said that whole, "I'm just the moron that was left behind" thing in the teaser. She knows precisely what it looks like, and in her heart, she knows she did wrong. Prior to getting into the weeds too deeply, let's give Robyn a small amount of credit. Sure, she was a stepmom when the children were still in school, but David? He's entering the scene when most of the children are already grown. The contrast is enormous. Robyn didn't even want to bond with the other kids, aside from her own. And Cody? He just checked out as soon as she came around. So if the kids actually want a paternal figure, guess what? It's David. Cody, on the other hand, he checked out a long time ago. And of course, we're talking about Cody here. Keep even a little attention away from him, and his delicate ego just can't stand it. Have you ever imagined how insane it must make him to watch David connect with the family, laughing, enjoying himself, and horror of horrors, actually be liked by the children? It's a punch to his ego every time David doesn't play along in Cody's twisted drama. Honestly, it's sort of funny to see. And speaking of funny, let's discuss monogamy for a second, okay? Christine's the only one who's never actually lived in a monogamous relationship, right? But hold up, let's discuss what's actually going on here. Seeing season 2, when Robyn begins discussing how strange monogamy would be, I nearly lost it. Like, seriously, Robyn? You were monogamous for years and now suddenly it's a strange idea? Classic Robyn maneuver. That made me think. All of them, except possibly Pine, have had their monogamous stint. Let's dissect Cody and Meri. Oh, they were monogamous during the first 2 years of their marriage. That's the timeline anyway. But here's the catch. Meri was technically practicing a different form of monogamy because Cody was already actively seeking out a new wife. Then there's Janelle. She briefly practiced monogamy when she was married to Meri's brother for 8 months to a year. And Robyn? Well, she was married to her first husband, and we all know how that turned out. It's really crazy to me that all of them have had monogamy at some point, except for Christine. She literally says she didn't date anyone prior to Cody, so she never had that period where she was the only woman in someone's life. Try to imagine how weird that would be for her to understand, huh? The entire concept of being the number one priority? Yeah, she didn't get to experience that. Until now, I suppose. And then there's Robyn, who pulls out the "I'm the polygamy expert" card. If I'm being honest, Robyn's more of a polygamy light type of woman. She's in, but never really had to give up anything for the family structure. It's like she never really even had to exist in polygamy. Funny, huh? Now, tell me about Meri. Did she even get to have monogamy, though? I mean, if the whole marriage revolves around your husband actively seeking another wife, is that even what monogamy feels like? Sure, she got the wedding, but I'd put an asterisk by that statement. Because if I was in a monogamous marriage and my husband was out hunting for additional wives, I'd be side eyeing the whole monogamous thing. It's sort of ironic when you consider it. Christine, of all individuals, seemed like she could actually pull off monogamy. Not Robyn, though. No way. Robyn's more like the tornado that storms in, throws everything into disarray, and then tells us she's the authority on the entire ordeal. Classic. And Janelle doing her own thing. Janelle went off and purchased herself this huge 150-acre piece of land in North Carolina, and I can't help but dream about what can be. Just think about it. If she constructed the family compound Coyote Pass was meant to be, Maddie and McKelty would each have their own homes, Janelle would have the large one, and there would be plenty of space for any of the other Browns to come visit, or even stay for a bit. Imagine this. Janelle and Christine sitting side by side on porch rockers, watching their grandkids run amok, while David's grilling in the back. Can't you just imagine the flame that would burn across Cody's face seeing that? Honestly, it would be priceless. And hey, maybe Janelle could even include a little casita for guests or storage space, just for kicks. Oh, please, universe, please make this a reality. Janelle was the one working hardest to bring the Coyote Pass dream into reality, so for her to succeed at this and be able to get herself gorgeous farmland, that would be the icing on the cake. Honestly, I'd pay an absurd amount of money just to see Robyn's reaction when she walks up and sees Christine and Janelle surrounded by grandkids living their best life on that porch. Robyn, queen of bad acting and even worse storytelling, would lose it. Speaking of bad acting, let's talk about season 14 for a second. Robyn kept repeating like a broken record that she wanted to find a rental. Why? Oh, because she was so set on building on Coyote Pass. At least that's what she incessantly claimed again and again and again, as if she kept repeating it enough times, it would somehow become true. I just can't help but chuckle in light of what we know now. She actually believed if she just repeated things such as, God is going to give us a rental, or I don't want to purchase a home, everyone would nod and respond, oh, okay, Robyn. Try again. Robyn indicated she did not want a McMansion. She merely wished to locate a rental and build on Coyote Pass. Nope. Sorry, Robyn, but you're a terrible liar and an even worse actress. That whole rental story was clearly just a cover-up for what was already happening behind the scenes. Now let's just sit back for a minute and think about the whole move to Arizona. What was all of that about? It made absolutely no sense. They were just living in this little quaint cul-de-sac, perfectly fine, and then suddenly, wham, they're in Arizona. What was the strategy? What was the motive? And why, after all of this, do we have more questions than answers? The children were established in their schools for years, and Maddie was staying with Janelle and raising her baby. It really was working, but naturally, we're supposed to feel like they had to gather their bags and move. Sure, if you overlook that there was only one person who would gain from the whole thing, and it wasn't Caleb or Maddie. It's particularly maddening when you recall that Maddie and Caleb were dealing with school and a serious illness with Caleb. They sought out Janelle's assistance because they wanted support from family members, something that apparently Cody felt they didn't deserve. He was like, good luck with that, I'm off to do whatever I do. While Janelle's actually being a good parent, welcoming her kids into her house, and providing them with the assistance they so desperately required. Maddie and Caleb are the true MVPs in this scenario, not Cody. Now let's move on to the good stuff, the house they actually purchased. Humorous how it just so happened to be the perfect size Robyn was looking for and close to Coyote Pass. Oh, and let's not mention the timing. What a coincidence that it was at the exact time they were allegedly still in the process of looking for a rental. I have a little theory. I believe they saw this McMansion come on the market and it was too good to be true. Forget the lease. Forget renting. They saw their house of dreams and purchased it, and the entire rental saga? All just fabricated drama to hide what they already had in mind. Honestly, just look at some of those shows where Robyn's gossiping about God giving them a rental. It's like she's attempting to cover her tracks, fully aware that the house was already out there. The only concern she had was ensuring that her story didn't unravel. Spoiler alert, it did. As I'm rewatching some of these episodes, I can't help but laugh at the delusion that was Cody's definition of intimacy. Christine matter-of-factly informs us that Cody doesn't want anything bouncy-bouncy with her anymore. Oh, but don't worry. He still wants her to be his wife, just without, the whole wife experience. Apparently, because she's still spiritually married to him, she's under obligation by her vows to be faithful. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like Cody gets to sleep with Robyn and Day, but Christine? She's on a sex ban, like some kind of Mormon nun. Can you even believe this, dude? You even believe? It's fairly obvious to me that Cody was punishing Meri and Christine by withholding intimacy whenever they misbehaved. Classic emotional abuse, anyone? It's as if he figured withholding affection would somehow get them into line. Well, it sent Meri scurrying down the street of online dating in search of love, which naturally backfired with a vengeance. And for Christine? Yeah, that was one of the final straws. She was not going to sit there and endure his emotional abuse the way Meri did. Bravo to her for not waiting around in that circus. Now let's discuss Robyn and that little gem she left at the tell all. She attempted to spin this story about how his other wives weren't necessarily rushing to bed with him, when in fact, it was Cody who was leading the no affection for you charge. Classic Cody move, twist the truth to make himself the victim. And then, oh, this one takes the cake. He had the nerve to compare Christine to Meri. Like, if Meri does it, why can't you? As Meri and I, Christine, to her credit, shut that down quickly, saying, oh no, I don't want that kind of heartbreaking relationship. So Cody, the eternal romantic, adds, well, then leave, but stay in Flagstaff because, I need you around to keep my big picture intact. Translation: hang around while I flaunt my relationship with Robyn in front of you. Because, of course, that's what any self respecting husband would want. Oh, Janelle. After rewatching the show, I just can't fathom how one can identify as the brains and logic and yet make decisions as perplexing as these. Honestly, how do you become the group brains and then repeatedly get taken advantage of, particularly when kids are at stake? A real smart, intelligent person wouldn't allow themselves to be financially and physically taken advantage of without some sort of legal recourse, but here we are. Janelle's the supposed smart one, right? Come on. Janelle grew up in a fairly well off family. She was independently wealthy, had her own home in her early 20s, and was actually gorgeous back in the day. She had choices. Could have married a guy who wasn't an absolute catastrophe. But instead, she got drawn into this Mormon cult that convinced her it was a fabulous idea to have some guy impregnate her a bunch of times. No legal strings attached. Work full time to pay his bills and come along for the ride while he made one bad financial decision after another. She could have been living a completely different life, but no such luck. She didn't. Meri and Christine were brought up in this religion and indoctrinated big time, so they kind of get a free pass. But Janelle, she had a regular childhood. She wasn't born into this crap. So why did she fall for it, especially when it was clear she was always going to get the short end of the stick as the second wife? Doing all the heavy lifting. When she whines about having no assets, I can't even feel sorry for her. She set herself up to be used. Cody required her for physical closeness, but obviously not for monetary assistance. It's as if she's just mentally checked out and doesn't even know that being logical doesn't equal having absolutely no common sense. Just because you can be the cool one in the room doesn't necessarily mean you're the intelligent one. I genuinely believe Janelle's definition of logical is simply not losing your temper, as opposed to, actually thinking things through. So even though she may have a level head compared to the rest, it does not make her some sort of savant. It's simply a difference. Cody likely employs the term respect in the same vein, obedience. But let's not go there with that mess. It's not even that Janelle is dumb. It's just that she lacks an enormous amount of common sense. If she had a clue regarding business or technical writing, which incidentally I used to teach for years, she would have ensured that their business plan did not look like a throw together project by a room full of freshmen. She recognized the business was failing, yet rather than throw in the towel, she let Cody push her back at it because Robyn was angry. Typical Janelle. She's a coaster. She knows it, but she doesn't do it. She just drifts. And the entire bankruptcy thing? Okay, things go wrong and people get themselves into debt, but Janelle was the one who was supposed to be managing their finances. And then there was the entire no insurance for the kids stunt. Again, not really the brightest. It's like Janelle just didn't bother. Her spark was all sucked out of her 9 to 5, and once she punched out, it was as if she checked out of life. Her mind checked out as well. She didn't struggle for what was ethical. She simply existed. I genuinely believe Christine had more sense than Janelle did. Christine required a little more guidance, but she possessed a better head on her shoulders in general. Janelle? Not quite. Meri truly got the shortest straw in this entire family, though. I'm not saying that, yo,